We are so happy that the Goodhue County Sheriff's Posse could be with us here this morning. Now, they were actually organized in 1976 as a volunteer organization, primary purpose to maintain peace, order, and law in our communities, to be public-spirited, to promote good fellowship, to cooperate with peace officers and with similar county organizations, and of course to promote the love of good horses. This organization, they sustain about 20 to 30 active members. They ride and train their own horses at many county functions. I'm sure if you're at the parade, you've seen them in the parade here on the 4th of July. And with us today from the Goodhue County Sheriff's Posse is Joan Grove, Ron Gabrielson, and Nelly Fulton. So would you give them a round of applause? I'll clear the microphone over there.
Well, like Rod had explained, we're with the Goodhue County Sheriff's Posse, and like he said, we were established in 1976. We're a volunteer organization. We are currently made up of 21 members. We have a max capacity of 30 members. We're also part of what's called the Minnesota Sheriff's Mounted Posse Association. There's less than half the counties in the state of Minnesota that are part of that association. You wanna?
Our objectives are to maintain peace and order on horseback. So we're the eyes and the ears of the Sheriff's Department. How's that? I feel like I'm eating this though. Like Rod said, we are public-spirited. We promote good fellowship. We cooperate with the peace officers and with similar county organizations. And we promote the love of good horses. We participate in parades, fairs, shows, and in city and county activities, and to help support youth activities in Goodhue County. We're real active in the Goodhue County horse shows. We try and help when we are in that vicinity, when they ask us to. It's always good for young people to see we wear our search and rescue uniforms, but to see us in uniform and know that this department actually is there to help them and to be friends with them and not anything else. You must be at least 18 years of age to join our organization. You must be in good moral character, be in good physical condition, own or have access to your own horse, truck, and trailer, pass a background check performed by the Goodhue County Sheriff's Office, and each member serves a year of probationary status to become an active member. Sometimes people join our organization and don't really realize what it all involves, and we're very busy from the months of the end of May through the beginning to the middle of September. And because the organization is very family oriented, I don't know some of you, but some of you do know me, and I have a large family, and it has been so great for my kids to grow up with this organization and helping. It's been an opportunity for me to encourage them to always be a participant in anything that the Sheriff's Department, our posse, needs help with, whether it's getting horses ready, cleaning up after us, walking through parades with us. It's just been a great encouragement to me to have such a good group to encourage my children. Our duties are we work under the order of the sheriff. If a situation arises where we could be utilized, the sheriff will activate us. We strive for an hour, 1 hour response time to be fully tacked, dressed, and ready to respond. And I'm sure a lot of you, when you were younger, maybe had horses. It's a challenge to have a horse out in the pasture and to get a call in the middle of the night and say someone's lost and we need your help. So to be able to get your horse out of the pasture, fully tacked and ready to go, and yourself ready to go and drive out the driveway within an hour is quite an accomplishment. It was for me to strive to, and I have to say that with some practice, I am able to do that. Main duties are public relations, patrolling, parades, search and rescue, and securing crime scenes. Every year, a member has to obtain 55 points for parades and are required to complete all training with and without a horse. For our training, we do some light use of force with the Sheriff's Department, where 2 or 3 of the deputies come and explain to us and show us, and then we have to practice on some of their techniques. So that's kind of interesting. And we also have our horse, I know where our horse has to complete a training that requires being around people, going over obstacles, soft things, over cords, over other things. We do a lot of crowd control for city and town functions. Yep, we do parade training, that's true. There's a lot to, these are animals and we have to remember that. And I think what the main thing, we're looking that the horse will complete all of the training, but also is how the rider is able to control the animal when it's having a difficult time. And that in itself just takes hours and hours in the saddle, having a good bond with your animal.
So back to our horses. All of our horses are owned by us personally. All of our equipment is owned by us as well, except for our breast collar, our bridle that's on the horse's head. We also have leg reflectors that we put on them, and then we do have a thinner saddle pad that identifies us with our saddlebags on the back. So that's our horses' uniform. Our personal uniforms, as you can see, we're wearing 2 different uniforms today. Joan and Ron are wearing our patrolling and parade uniforms, and I'm wearing our search and rescue uniform. When we're out and about in tall grass and wooded, thick areas, we don't want to be in our good uniforms searching and getting that all torn up and stuff. So, let's see. Joan kind of touched on some of our training. We also do some, we get involved with the Skywarn training as well. We do first aid and CPR, annual use of force. We have a chemical aerosol. We're not wearing our duty belts right now, but we do carry a chemical aerosol with us. Also on our duty belt, we carry a radio and flashlight and our handcuffs. We are trained in handcuff training. Do we use them? We prefer not to, but if called upon, we will help out. And again, our horses go through a 2-day certification training. We patrol between parades and patrolling. That's mainly what we do. We patrol Goodhue Volks Fest, Pine Island Cheese Fest, Zumbrota Covered Bridge Days, the Goodhue County Fair. We patrol every weekend down at Hoaxilla Park down in Lake City. The Cannon Falls Bike Race, did any of you see that go through town? We were patrolling intersections through the whole race. We've done that for, the past 6 years or so. And then Mazeppa has their fireworks after the 4th of July, and we patrol down there for that as well. And parades, you all probably saw us in the Cannon Falls Parade as well a few weeks back here. But yeah, we do all those same town parades, and we even do some winter parades as well. So just to let you guys know as well, the posse is not funded by the Sheriff's Office. We are a self-sustaining entity. We actually do an annual fundraiser, which is our main funds for our posse, which helps us buy uniforms, we do a scholarship every year for Special Olympics child to go to. Yes, we sponsor families at Christmas time. We do Thanksgiving and Christmas baskets. We also do presents as well. Correct. We do the Sheriff's Posse, in the State Sheriff's Posse Association, they do a wagon train ride every year, and we donate money to that wagon train ride, and then all those proceeds goes to the Children's Hospital. In the past, we've helped out with Law Enforcement Memorial Fund and the caisson unit. We also do a college scholarship for any student going into law enforcement. We do bell ringing at Christmas time. Coming up next week, we'll be doing the National Night Out over in Wanamingo and in Pine Island. Yeah, do you guys do a National Night Out at all? No? Oh, do they? Oh, sorry. You do. Perfect. Yeah, if you guys ever want us to come, you're more than welcome. You can contact the Sheriff's Office and request that we come out. We love to, PR is our big thing. We're here for the Sheriff's Office, and we're kind of that buffer, that PR, to get people comfortable around us. So.
I just have to, I'm letting them do most of the talking because they've done this before. I just wanted to add some of the search and rescue things that we've done. There was an older fella just outside of Ellsworth that wandered away, and the posse was called out to search for him, and basically we searched through woods, cornfields, and eventually he was found perfectly fine in a little bit different cornfield. We also searched for a Prescott youth that had autism, and that was just across the river where he was found, full of wood ticks and mosquito bites. But we I think we were almost in the vicinity. It worked out that a dog with a guy was out looking too, and he found him. But we ended up hauling him out with our equipment to get him to his parents and to the EMTs. And then many years ago, we were also in the search for Jessica Swanson when she was out and about. We searched. I was going to say the river. We even searched through the river back here, looking for her, and she was eventually found. But I guess that's what I have to say.
I'll just add to that we're so very fortunate that Sheriff McNerlin uses us and chooses to use us, and therefore he makes sure that we get the training that we need to keep us safe. They have, I'm sure you all know that the sheriffs in all the counties have a working relationship, so that's why we were able to go to Wisconsin, because that sheriff contacted us because he knew the training that we had been through and felt we could be utilized there. So I guess we're very fortunate. There are a lot of counties that have posses and don't utilize them enough. Yep, search and rescue is part of our training. I do have a couple of kids over here, but they would tell you that they, for many years, were the lost person, and we had to search for them through woods and stuff. So it's kind of interesting and fun. We also, Ron touched on some, but we sat on crime scenes. The airplane that went down needed to be watched so people didn't come and disturb it. We sat at the Tiger Watch. We call it the Tiger Watch over by Lake City. We also were here in the background when the president came. We were out on the outskirts and going through all the long grass around the trees. It was one of our guys who spotted and I don't know if you know this, but there was a young man who thought he could float down the river and get to the president that way, whether he was wanting to take a picture or see or whatever his plan was. But he was on the outskirts, and we were the ones that spotted him and followed him and radioed ahead then to do what they needed to do.
So just to let you guys know, we also, we're a completely volunteer service. In total, we volunteer and patrol over 4,000 collective hours a year. We're also one of the most active posses within the state of Minnesota. And again, back to what Joan was saying, we're super fortunate because Sheriff Scott McNerlin, he uses us. He really calls out on us and pulls us into things. And so overall, we are a pretty cool county here, and a pretty cool group to be a part of. Did you touch on like age-wise and stuff like that to join? Okay, cool. I don't know. Do you guys have any questions, or we're kind of all over the map on things here?
I usually do this as a PowerPoint. This is Abby.
Abby.
Yep, and she's my horse. Yep, she's a registered Tennessee Walker.
Currently, right now we currently have 21, actually 19 active members and 2 probationary members right now. We can accept up to 30 members, and the only reason why we put a cap on it is due to uniforms and that kind of stuff.
You say the horse is a Tennessee Walker.
Yes.
That makes her gait just a little different.
Yes, it does.
Is someone that could demonstrate that different gait for us?
No, there isn't. I use this Tennessee Walker. I've had her since she was 4, and she's 21. So she is kind of a part of the family.
I guess.
And I use her because she's so level-headed, and that's what Tennessee Walkers take a little bit longer to mature. But she's so level-headed, and she's a totally different horse when she's all tacked up. When she's not, she is a little stinkpot sometimes. But as I start putting the things on, she knows that she's going to work. And she has been my help ever since I started with her. And she would go until I stopped her. She would. Nothing really scares her. She would go into a car. She would, like I say, she just would go until I stopped her. As most all of the horses on the posse are, and that is something that they need to. That we as a people need to work with our horses in that way. We need to be able to depend on them. Our biggest weapon is probably our horses. Once you start turning a 1,200-pound animal around, people start watching and getting out of the way. So, yes, we're trained in a lot of use of force and with handcuffs, but there's so many times that's exactly what we've done is 4 or 7 across, shoulder to shoulder, and walking through a group. There's not much that people will stand around for. It kind of hurts to get stepped on. I'll just touch on one other thing. Our animals, when we're working, are the same consideration as the police dogs. They are part of the Sheriff's Department. If you harm them, there's penalties to be paid.
I was just going to say, through our horse training or how we note the operator's control and the horse's disposition, I and a partner were working Hoaxilla, and I have a tall buckskin quarter horse, and kids tend to congregate towards us, and I had one little boy that we were kind of standing side by side, and the little guy went underneath the belly of mine and then under the belly of the other horse. So what that tells you is that we look to have our horses when there's kids around to be under total control. Where we prefer that they're not prancing and really nervous in a people situation, and then the same situation where the little boy, his dad was standing there, and he called we started to get a little nervous because it's not the thing to really be doing with a horse, but the little boy then came right back underneath and went to his dad, so it's just one of those things where how important it is in our training, or when we do the initial training in the spring, that the person's horse is under control.
Any other questions?
If you're out in the evening, do you have more reflective gear on the horse other than the bands on the?
Nope.
Okay.
At night, you'd be really surprised if a car's lights hit those reflectors on their feet. It lights up.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you're in tall grass, and I'm assuming the rider would have some kind of vest.
If we are doing traffic control kind of stuff, we do wear reflective vests on us as well. But yes, when night does fall, we do put those on. But when we're on the road, we definitely have those on for sure. So.
Do you get paid for attending fairs or parades?
So the posse gets paid a stipend for every hour that we work. The member does get a small portion of that, but most of the proceeds, like we said, we're volunteers, so all those proceeds do stay with the posse.
But for parades. But for parades, we're volunteer. I mean, that's total on our own, that we go to the parades and basically donate our time, and so.
Something that we didn't touch on was that we do have rules and regulations to being on the posse. You have to obtain 55 points every year to stay active. 55 points means when you go to a parade, you get 6 points for bringing a horse to a parade. So, there are things that we have to do to stay a part of this organization. It's not something that you just join and think, oh, I'll just go to that if I feel like it. There are things that we make mandatory for our members to be part of. Oh, we do also meet every month for our monthly meetings, and those you obtain points for as well, but yeah.
How many calls about would you average in a month?
Well, a search and rescue, we maybe will be called out. We were just put on alert a couple months ago for a woman who they felt, was missing. They couldn't find her. They did find her in the river. And that maybe happens. It's so different because there's been years that there's one, and then there's times that there's 6 or 7 or 8. We do, like Nelly said, we work in Hoaxilla, which is a campground in north of Lake City, every weekend. And that doesn't count then the city and the town functions that she named. And then basically, if you wanted us to come, you would have to call the sheriff's department and get permission. Or how do they put that? A request, yeah. Put in a request for us. And then he would determine whether or not we came.
And then I was the captain here just prior, and I got a call from the deputies. An older lady had wandered away from the farm, and we were in the process of getting ready to go, and then I got a call saying that they had found her. She had wandered just down the road a ways, and this was I was going to say 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was starting to make a call around to get organization of people ready to go. That was just this last spring.
So all of our communication does come from the sheriff's office. They directly appoint us to go and fulfill these search and rescues and stuff. So it's not something that we just hear about and then we zoom out there and start working. It's something that they definitely direct us to do.
So does anybody else have any other questions? Rod?
Don't you have a fundraiser coming up?
Rod, gal, you are so amazing. And guess who was our wonderful announcer for that this year? Mr. Rod Johnson. Yes, we do have our annual fundraiser every year. It's a prime rib dinner for two. The ticket is for prime rib dinner for two, and we give away $10,000 and many, many other prizes with that ticket. You don't have to be present to win, although it is a great, fun evening. We have many raffles, silent auctions, and that is September 17th. I've got tickets in my car if anybody wants them.
Where is it? Where is it being held?
Thank you. That's another great question. It is held at the Zumbrota Fairgrounds. And we start dinner at 5 o'clock, and we announce the grand prize at 9 o'clock at night. Wonderful. Anybody else?
We'll have to get that information from you on that and have
Yeah.
that added to the
I have flyers in the
website.
car, and I can definitely give you a flyer as well.
You could put that on our website.
So
For that.
he's coming. He's moving here slowly but surely.
Thank you so much for having us come and share with you, and I hope it's been informational. If you ever see any of us even out of uniform, stop and say hello. We certainly love to meet everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, give them a round of applause. Yeah, is it okay if people want to come up and take a look at the horse? You can certainly do that. And again, you have tickets for September, right? So, all right. So if you'll be around for a little bit, hey, if you want to join us for lunch, we'd love to have you. So again, how about another hand for the Goodhue County Mounted Posse? All right.